Hey, what's up guys, BVHD here, and I'm back with another Skillicious squad for you all to enjoy, hopefully. This one cost me quite a bit. There was a player I did originally want to get into the team, but due to chemistry reasons, I didn't include him, but we'll talk about him later on. It's quite an expensive team, as I've already mentioned, but a nice little hybrid, and it's kind of, you could say, a bit overpowered in ways, but we'll get onto it now anyway. The first player we've got here is Joe Hart in net, and last year he was very overpowered in my opinion, and a lot of people felt the same way. He's got some really good stats on him, but this year for me he just really, I don't know whether it's just me, it probably is just me, he didn't cut it at all. He did concede quite a few times, and it was quite disappointing, to be honest, because I was going to get Czech in net, and probably should have. So if you do make this team, I would go with Czech, but that's just my opinion. 39k, you know, it's quite a big price tag as well for a Premier League keeper. I know he's English and from the Premier League and from City, and you know it's Joe Hart, but personally I would just go with Czech. But yeah, we'll get on to the first defender now, and we are playing the 3-5-2. So the first defender we have is Kabul. Used this guy before, very good player, and the defense overall is very solid. He cost me 2,500 and he's 6'3", very pacey centre back, which is what I feel you need. I personally need anyway in this formation, being only 3 defenders. Well, we'll talk about that later. It's not exactly true what I've just said, but yeah, we'll get on to the second defender now, or the second centre back. You can see them both there. We'll put in Felipe Santana as well. It is David Luiz, which is where obviously Joe Hart and him link up. And he is overpowered again, but not as overpowered as last year. If you'd made this team last year, it would have been pretty hard to beat. But 6'2", 2,800 coins, quite cheap considering it's David Luiz, and a decent player overall. Has 3-star skills. If you like to go in those little runs, then you'll be able to do that. Just quickly want to mention there isn't any goals in this. I think actually though there is one goal at the end, which I might stick in, I might not. I'm not too sure. I did play this game, but I just ended up getting a bit annoyed, and you know, going for those skill goals, I just couldn't really be bothered. So I just thought I'd put the team out, because no one really, you know, the compilation's nice at the end, but no one really cares too much about it. And the last defender we've got here, Felipe Santana. Already said, 81 pace, tall, good in the air, brilliant at everything, great player. Used him before and in my path to perfection. 3,300 coins. Definitely worth picking up. Anyway, we'll go on to the first defensive midfielder here, and you can see them both. But Diarra is the player we have gone for, and a very solid player overall. Very underrated. He cost me only 500 coins, and he's got some really good defensive attributes and good in the air. Generally seems like a bit of a brick. He'll just sit there. He doesn't bomb forward at all, which is exactly what you want in that defensive midfield slot. And the second defensive midfielder we've got here is Richarlison. 4-star skills, just like last year. A brilliant little player to have, a great little silver Brazilian. He cost me 7,000 coins. He has dropped quite a bit in price. I believe he was going for a lot more than that. But a brilliant player to have. He does go forward, but he has high defense work rate and a medium attack. So he doesn't get forward that often. You know, he won't bomb forward too much for you. But he is a really good attacking outlet as well as defensively. So yeah, I definitely recommend you pick him up. Anyway, we'll get on to the right midfielder now. And you probably would have guessed it, but it is Ben Arthur. A really solid player overall, great stats, 5-star skills, and it's the first 5-star skill of the squad so far. Really consistent stats, brilliant left foot, 5-star skills, as I've already mentioned, and a 4-star weak foot, which is great as well. Only cost me 5,000 coins, you know, so he isn't breaking the bank. He's a very cheap player, and I think a bit underrated, to be honest. I don't see him enough in teams. So definitely give him a go if you can, and he has a monster of a long shot as well. Anyway, we'll get on to the left midfielder now. He's actually not a left midfielder. He is a left wing back. It is Marcio Azevedo, and he does get 9 chemistry, which is what I found out the other day, and it's exactly why I wanted to make this team, because I had this team last year, but with different strikers. This is that team, but I had him as a left back. He only got 7 chemistry last year. This year he gets 9, and he's a brilliant player to have there. If you can't afford Neymar, but you somehow still have the coins for this guy, definitely go and put him in the left midfield slot. I think he has to be a left wing back to get the 9 chemistry, but I could be wrong on that. So, you know, it costs nothing to change him, basically. Anyway, it's like 200 coins. 5-star skills, 2-star weak foot, but brilliant smooth skill runs you can go on with him. He's a great little player, and he does seem, it does say 5'8", but his character in game, it's a bit like Wallison from last year. He seems quite tall. I don't know if that's just me, but if you've tried him out, let me know in the comments down below. Have you noticed that? Because he just seemed like quite a tall player this year for some reason. And a very good player, and I would actually say he's probably the star of the team. A brilliant player to get. It cost me just under 60k, which is quite a big price tag. But then again, when you've got players like Neymar, you know, it's not that much. Anyway, we're getting to the attacking mid. We've got the king. Obviously, it's not going to be anyone else but this guy, Ronaldinho. I did want to get his inform, but due to, you know, the problem, the coin glitch, whatever the thing was going on, and he has risen in price quite a lot, and so I didn't really want to get him, to be honest, because I think his normal card is just as good. His free kicks aren't as good, but still quite decent. And he's a great player. Everyone knows about this guy. 3,600 coins costs you next to nothing for a player of this standard. I would definitely say you could just go out and get him. I presume everyone watching this video will be able to afford him. So definitely go out and get him if you have the coins. And we will get on to the final 2 players of the team, and I will talk about them now. It is Elkerson and it is Wallison up front. I've used them both before. Very good players. You know, Wallison does have the better pace, but that is all he has on card. However, I do believe he's the better player. He cost me 165k, so quite an expensive player. Like I mentioned, if you can't get him, just get a Sobis and stick him up front with Elkerson. But a very good player to have, and you guys should all know that if you've seen any of my previous videos with him in it, you will know how good he is. And Elkerson is not equally as good. He's equally as good when it comes to shooting. His long shots are brilliant. So if you want to drop him down to the attacking mid role, for some reason, if you didn't want to have Ronaldinho there, do that. And then if you can still afford Wallison, get Wallison and Sobis, because he's a brilliant little player. Elkerson, I do like him. He can only cost you 650 coins. Well, it cost me 650 coins in striker. The player that I was saying earlier that I was going to put into the team, it wasn't actually going to be Elkerson. What I did is I got Neymar, obviously normal Neymar, the left forward version, and I put him up front because I thought he would get an orange boot, because, you know, because it's left forward with a striker. I thought there might be a chance of him getting an orange boot, so he'd be on 7 chemistry and it wouldn't be that bad. But he had a red boot and he was on 5 chemistry, which is not what I like, and he wasn't really performing for me, and so that's why I decided to get Elkerson instead. Anyway, everyone here gets 9 chemistry. As you can see, for some reason it's saying they're on 6 chemistry, but they do all get 9 chemistry. A very solid squad. I'll definitely recommend it to you all guys. So if you could like the video, it would really help me out. Subscribe if you're not already, and help me hit that 150 milestone by Christmas. And I'll see you all next time, guys. Cheers.